Welcome back to another episode of English Cooking, where I teach you English through cooking. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make the world's favorite snack. Do you know how to make the world's favorite snack? Well, it's called crackers and cheese. Have you ever had crackers and cheese? It's amazing, guys. Super simple. So we're going to start by whipping up some crackers. To whip up means to make something quickly. Right, so we're going to whip up some crackers. Have you ever made crackers before? It's super simple. We're going to start with a cup of flour. Now I'm using whole wheat flour. You could use any kind of flour you want. So just dump in your flour. There we go. We just dumped it in, guys. And next, we're gonna make a well in our flour. Okay, so you can see there's the flour there, right? We're going to make a well. What is a well? We're gonna take our chopstick. It's called. Whoops. This is called a chopstick. We're going to make a well. Sometimes in cooking or baking, you'll see that instruction. It might say, make a well in the flour. What does that mean? It means to make a little hole in the flour. We're going to make a hole right in the middle. That's not really working very well with the chopstick. We're going to use our finger. And we're just going to make a well in the middle of the flour. Okay, so look at that. We just made a well in the flour, okay? Little hole there in the middle, because we're gonna put stuff in the well. You know, like the normal meaning of the word well is a big hole in the ground, and you bring water up from the well. Maybe you drop down a bucket way down there, and then you scoop out the water, and then you pull up the bucket of water from the well. So we have our well, guys. Next, you'll want to add, let's add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay, so get some measuring spoons. These are called measuring spoons. And we're going to measure 2 tablespoons of olive oil into our well. All right, so look at this. Got 1 tablespoon right into our well, and then another tablespoon. Yeah, look at that. We put our oil, guys, into the well. Oh, now it's running out of the well. Whoops. Next, we're going to add. Let's add 15 teaspoons of water. All right, so which one is the teaspoon? This is a teaspoon right here. That's a teaspoon. So we're going to add 15 teaspoons of water. Now, if you're lazy and you don't want to add 15 teaspoons, you can just add about a quarter of a cup or about a third of a cup of water. Okay, so it's the equivalent, okay? So 15 teaspoons is the equivalent. I forgot to mention, preheat your oven to about 400 Fahrenheit. Here in Canada, ovens use Fahrenheit. Although some ovens I think you can buy that you can change the. I think some ovens you can change the units. Okay, if it's going to be, you can choose Celsius or Fahrenheit, but the standard units is Fahrenheit here in Canada. Okay, so if you're lazy and you don't want to measure out 15 teaspoons, you can use the equivalent of about a quarter cup, or maybe about a quarter cup or a third of a cup of water. So we're going to just add our water in, guys. We're going to be lazy, and we're going to add the equivalent of 15 teaspoons, rather. All right, so where's our cup? I'm going to measure out about a quarter of a cup, maybe about a quarter or a third of a cup. There we go, guys. We're lazy today. We're using the equivalent. Do you know what the word equivalent means? Okay, I'll teach you. So we're going to put this into our well. Oh, look at that. Our well is overflowing. Now we're going to use the chopstick, and we're just going to stir our dough. We're going to make dough. Dough is a mixture of flour and water, or flour and oil, or eggs. It's flour and some sort of a liquid. Okay, that's called dough. So we're going to just mix our dough here while I teach you the word equivalent. Okay? You can either say something is equivalent to something or the equivalent of. Okay, so I'll give you an example, okay? Jollibee is the Filipino equivalent of KFC, right? So in the Philippines, they have a restaurant called Jollibee. It's a fried chicken restaurant. And now, is it exactly the same as KFC? No, it's not. It's very different. And in the Philippines, they also have KFC. So what did my sentence mean? Jollibee is the Filipino equivalent of KFC here in Canada. Well, you know, it's not a direct equivalent, but it's kind of an approximate, right? So very often we can use equivalent in a situation where there is no exact comparison, right? So what does this mean? If I'm comparing KFC to Jollibee, what I'm saying is that the most famous fried chicken restaurant here in Canada is KFC, and the most famous fried chicken restaurant in the Philippines is Jollibee. Okay, so, you know, in that sense, it's equivalent, right? Most famous, so it's kind of equivalent. Your fried chicken, you know, it's kind of equivalent. Okay, what are some other examples? We could say temples in Buddhism are equivalent to churches in Christianity. Okay, now are temples the same as churches? No, they're very different, but they're both religious buildings. Okay, the religious buildings in Buddhism are called temples. The religious buildings in Christianity are called churches. So, in that sense, they're equivalent, right? Here's another example. Okay, let me think. Okay, MI6 is the British equivalent of the CIA. Okay? So, you know, every country has their own secret intelligence service. I don't even know what it's called in Canada, to be honest. But what are some countries called? What's the FSB? Is there one called the FSB? Which country is that from? Anyway, there's the CIA in the US, or the FBI. Right? I don't even know what, to be honest, I don't know what the FBI does or what the CIA does. What's the difference between the CIA and the FBI? I have no idea. But in the UK, it's called MI6. That's their secret intelligence service. Okay, so we could say, you know, MI6 is the equivalent of the CIA in the US. Okay, so notice I'm saying the equivalent of, right? You could also say equivalent to. Now, if you're going to use direct, if you're going to use units and give like a direct, basically, exchange, then you could use it's probably better to say equivalent to. So we could say 15 teaspoons. I don't even know. I don't know exact, guys. I should check. But I think it's about 15 teaspoons is equivalent to a quarter cup. Okay. We could say 15 teaspoons is the equivalent of a quarter cup. We could say that too. But if you're going to give direct exchange using units, I think it's better to say equivalent to instead of the equivalent of. So here's another example. We could say a Canadian dollar is equivalent to about 60 rupees in India. Okay? 1 Canadian dollar is equivalent to about 60 rupees. You could also say 1 Canadian dollar is the equivalent of 60 rupees in India. You can say it both ways. Like you could say temples in Buddhism are equivalent to churches in Christianity. Okay, so, but I would say if you're not comparing something directly, like using units, if you're kind of just giving more of kind of a general idea of similarity, then it would be better to say the equivalent of. So temples in Buddhism are the equivalent of churches in Canada, or MI6 is the equivalent of the CIA, or what was the other one we talked about? Jollibee is the equivalent of KFC. You know, so I don't know, but you could use both. So guys, here we have our dough. Actually, you know, we should add some. Let's add some salt, guys. I got some salt here. Add some salt. I don't know how much would you want to add. It depends on you. Just add to taste. Okay, sometimes recipes will say that add to taste. That means it's up to you. We're going to add some salt. That's about good. All right, and you know, guys, let's add some rosemary. Add some dried rosemary leaves. We're going to add some rosemary in there, and let's add some parsley flakes. All right, so there's our parsley flakes. Guys, it's super easy to make crackers. Anybody can do it. It's you know, we're just going to add, let's add about that much. I usually don't measure things when I'm cooking. So let's just kind of mix that around, and you kind of want to kind of a dry dough. Okay, you don't want it to be super sticky. No, we don't want that. We want it to be pretty dry. Okay, so we're just going to keep mixing this around, and while I'm teaching you English. Have you learned any English yet? You learned the word well, and now you learned the word equivalent to. Okay, so now let's talk about crackers and cheese. So who eats crackers and cheese? Well, crackers and cheese are a favorite snack for kids. Kids love eating crackers and cheese. But it's not just for kids, guys. I mean, crackers and cheese are it's just amazing. I love crackers and cheese. It can be, you know, because they're so good, you're going to eat probably like 10 of them. 10. So basically what crackers and cheese is, you're going to get 2 crackers, and you're going to put cheese in the middle and pickles. Okay? That's called crackers and cheese. And so it's so good, you're probably going to eat like 10 or 20 of these things. So that's why it's almost like you could make it into a meal. It's almost like a real meal, except it's not supposed to be a meal. It's a snack. So maybe, you know, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, if you're feeling a bit peckish, you might want to have 1 or 2 crackers and cheese. Okay, peckish means a bit hungry. Okay, so have you ever been peckish in your life? I'm feeling peckish right now, guys, making these crackers and cheese. So I guess we've mixed this enough, guys. I'll just take it out of the bowl, and so you can see what it's losing some of my spices, my rosemary. Oh, you know what, guys? I forgot to add some sesame seeds. You know what? Sesame seeds are great for this as well. Just gonna put this over here. So that's kind of what the dough looks like. Right there it is. You can see it's kind of dry. It's kind of, you know, it's not really sticky. Okay, so we're just gonna let's take our rolling pin. This is called a rolling pin. Let's take our rolling pin. Let's just kind of roll it out a little bit like that, and then guys, let's add some sesame seeds. Roasted sesame seeds. I love sesame seeds. Let's just add some sesame seeds in there, guys. Roll them into the dough. And so let's flip it around and add some sesame seeds over here. Guys, this really, you can just make this however you want. Super simple. But basically, the secret is that you have to roll the dough really thin. Okay, because we're gonna bake it. You bake it for about 10-15 minutes. You know, and then you need, like, crackers are supposed to be thin, right? So we're gonna take our dough here. I think we mixed it enough here. We're gonna make our dough. We're gonna divide it into 2 chunks. All right, so let's divide our dough into 2 chunks. So now we got our dough here, right? Just keep mixing it a bit. And then we're gonna let's just roll it out. Let's just roll out. Let's roll out our, I'll just kind of make it into a ball shaped thing. Okay, so let's roll it out. And you can add maybe a bit more flour at this point just to make it kind of dry. Oops. Breaking apart here, guys. Just roll this out as flat as we can. All right. What do you like to put on your crackers and cheese? So crackers and cheese, right? In this let me just get some flour, guys. Crackers and cheese. Well, it's crackers and cheese. Now, most of the time when people make crackers and cheese, they're putting pickles. I think most people eat crackers and cheese with pickles. You don't need to put pickles on there, but pickles give it that crunch. Oh, it's so good. And but you could put peanut butter maybe on there, if some people probably do that, or like, it's supposed to be a savory snack. Okay? Do you know what savory means? Savory means salty. Okay, so not sweet. So, you know, crackers, like, the main difference between crackers and cookies is that cookies are sweet. Crackers are salty. And crackers are really thin, right? So we're going to just roll out this dough as thin as we can. All right? Now, what kind of cheese should you use for this? Well, most people use some kind of like cheddar cheese, like orange colored cheese, right? But you could use whatever cheese you want. I think most people like cheddar cheese on their crackers and cheese. Okay, so you know, these, you can see it's just a small little piece of dough, but when you roll it out, actually, it turns really, it looks a lot more than it is when you really roll it out flat. So guys, we're gonna roll this out really flat, like I said, because it's only gonna bake for a few minutes, right? Maybe about 10 minutes, depending on if you like them kind of crunchy or, I mean, crackers are supposed to be crunchy. They're not supposed to be soft, but it depends how crunchy you want them, or how dark you want them to end up being. I like them a little bit darker, but it's up to you. It's all up to you guys. We're just gonna keep rolling this out. Look at that. All right, so it's already that big. Now, you don't need to worry about keeping the shape, a perfect shape, but you want to keep in mind that we're going to be putting this into a pan, all right? So, and then we're going to be cutting it into cracker sized. You can make small crackers, you can make big crackers, whatever you want, okay? So, just gonna add a little bit more flour here and just gonna do our final roll to make it super, super thin. Okay, that's the way it's gonna be the best. All right, so make it really thin. We got our sesame seeds, our parsley flakes. Look at that. Now, guys, see this brand? How would you pronounce the name of this brand? Look at that. What would you say? Would you say Plotchmans? Plotchmans? I wouldn't. Why? Because the CH, like the letter CH, the pronunciation varies depending on the type of word it's in. So, you know, native English speakers can usually make predictions pretty accurately about the pronunciation of a word like this. Okay, so I can see that this is what is that word? Well, it's the name of the company, right? I would say Plochmans. So what would you say? Okay, the reason I would say Plochmans is because it looks like a foreign word. It's the name of the company, but why is the company named Plochmans? It's probably because that's a name. That's a last name. So this might be a family-owned business. All right, Plochmans. Plochmans parsley flakes. So in words like this, very often the CH makes a kind of a sound. Plochmans. That's my prediction. I have no idea. It could also be like a K. Maybe those people say Plochmans. Or maybe Plotchmans, but I doubt it's Plotchmans. It's either Plochmans or Plochmans. It could be silent maybe, but I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. What's your prediction? I have no idea. I have no idea how those people... I don't know where that company's from. It kind of looks like a word, like it could be German, maybe, because it's got the word Mann in it. You know, it could be German or probably some European kind of origin type of thing. So I would say Plochmans. What other words have CH that have the Ch sound? Like, do you know what the Loch Ness Monster? Have you ever heard of the Loch Ness Monster? So that's kind of a mythical creature that lives in Scotland. Many people believe it's real, the Loch Ness Monster. It's called Nessie for short. But I think in Scotland, like in a Scottish accent, they would say Loch Ness Monster. I'm not sure. Loch Ness. But yeah, so some English words, the CH makes that k sound. So guys, look at that. Okay, so we have a pretty thin dough here. Now we're just going to transfer it to our pan. All right, so we're just going to put it in our pan like that and try to fit it in there. So you can see there, all right? Now, we're going to get a knife. Here is my knife, guys. Well, we're going to get a knife from somewhere. Got one? All right, and we're just going to cut our crackers, however big or small you want them. We're going to make some pretty big crackers here today, so I'm just going to cut them with a knife like that. And just going to cut them into kind of big squares. All right, it doesn't need to be perfect. You know, kind of have that old-fashioned kind of feel to it. So just going to cut your crackers. And you know what, guys? Homemade crackers are so much better. They taste so much better than than store-bought crackers. How about you? Would you rather have homemade crackers or store-bought crackers? Okay, the opposite adjective of homemade is store-bought. Okay, so now we have our crackers cut. We're going to take our oil. Okay, we're going to get our olive oil in kind of a spray bottle like this. And we're just going to add a healthy dose. We're going to spray on a healthy dose of olive oil, okay? Do you know what healthy dose means in that sentence? I said we're going to spray on a healthy dose. Well, the word healthy has nothing to do with healthy, like the normal meaning of healthy. Healthy dose means a lot. Not just a little bit, a lot. Okay, so look at this. We're going to spray on a lot of olive oil, all right? Come on. Spray. There we go. So, something's wrong with my spray bottle, guys. So we're spraying on a healthy dose here. We're spraying a healthy dose of oil on our crackers. Look at that, guys. Ooh, these are gonna be great. These are gonna be great. So we're gonna just pop them in the oven. Easy as that, guys. So there we go. We're done. You can, if you have 2 pans, you could put this batch in right away too. Now, guys, I already made a batch. So we're just gonna start by making our crackers and cheese right now while we're waiting for that to finish. So guys, I made a batch and look at that. There we go. We got 2 crackers here and we're gonna it's so simple, guys, and it's so delicious. You're just gonna take some cheese, put it on your cracker like that, okay? And should give you a closer up shot. All right, now for the pickles, there are 2 main kinds of pickles in our culture. One is called dill pickles. Okay, so here I've got some dill pickles. You can see there it says baby dill. Baby dill pickles means small cucumbers. I'll show you what they look like. Okay. Do I have a fork? Got a fork here. So look at that. Okay, so these pickles are pretty small. They're small cucumbers, right? So a cucumber that has been made into this is called a pickle. So there is a dill pickle. You could use dill pickles if you want. Dill pickles are amazing. Or the other main kind of pickle in our culture is called bread and butter pickles, okay? So here we got bread and butter pickles. I don't know why they're called bread and butter. There's no bread in here. There's no butter in here. Bread and butter pickles are sweet pickles. They're very good. I love both kinds of pickles. How about you? Which would you rather have? Bread and butter pickles or dill pickles? So bread and butter pickles, usually they're sliced like this, right? Man, I love bread and butter pickles. So, you know, there you have some bread and butter pickles. Both are amazing on, you know, with crackers and cheese. I love both. Let's put on some bread and butter pickles, guys, on this one. So we're just going to take our pickles. We're going to just put a few, can you see? Just going to put a few on here like this. And that's it, guys. It's literally that simple. And like I said, the homemade crackers are just, they're fresh, they're simple, they don't have a bunch of weird ingredients in them, and they're nice and crunchy. You know, you can, I don't know, they're amazing. So guys, there we have it. Crackers and cheese. What do you think? Take a bite, guys. What do you think of that? Pretty good, eh? Nice and crunchy, and just the combination of flavors. The cheese, the crackers, the pickles. It's the perfect savory snack. So let's dig in, guys. Let's see what this is like. Ooh, I'm so excited. That is so good. I love the sesame seeds in here, guys. Wow. It's just the best. This is the best snack in the world. You'll never find a snack better than this. Man, guys. You want another bite? Well, guys, there you have it. That's it. That's how simple it is. Let me know if you would like some crackers and cheese. Guys, let me give you some homework today. For homework, I want you to use the word equivalent. Okay? And I want you to... So think of something in your language. Okay? Think of something, maybe not in your language. Think of something in your culture. Okay? That we don't have here in Canada. Or that doesn't exist in another country. And try to think of some kind of equivalent to that thing. Okay? So it could be anything. It could be a restaurant. It could be a kind of food. It could be, I don't know, anything. And then make a sentence. This is equivalent to that. Or this is the equivalent of blah, blah, blah. Okay? There you have it, guys. Try to make a sentence like that down in the comments. Well, guys, I love you very much. Thank you so much for joining me in this episode. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. You're awesome. So, guys, have a great day wherever you are. Stay safe, healthy, and happy. And as always, I'll see you over in the next episode of English Cooking. Take care.